Good afternoon. This is Diana Shad, CEO of the Family Business Alliance. Today's guest is Tom Duisterhof with Gordon Water Systems. Tom, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Thanks for coming today. I was thinking we'd get started by doing some brief facts about the business. Could you tell us the year the business was started?
My father, Gordon Duisterhof, started the business in 1973.
And do you have a website?
We do, gordonwater.com.
How many generations are currently involved in the business?
Well, brother and I are in leadership roles, so second gen, and then we've got some third gen involved as well. So.
And how many employees existed when it was started in 1973?
One. Well, maybe
One.
two if you want to call dad and mom. But then he contracted out part-time work from some other guys until he got enough business going where he had to hire somebody to do installation of water treatment equipment.
Okay, and how many employees do you have today?
47, I do believe.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about the history of Gordon with your dad starting out. How did the business get started?
Well, really good question. My dad was very much the man of the house during the World War II years because his father died in World War II. And so at a young age, he took on a lot of responsibility. And then he was off to college, and in college he did ROTC, and so he was in the military after college and became a salesman once he got out of the military. And he worked for in the paper industry, and he was kind of involved in some corporate stuff. And my dad was one that liked to be in control of things a little more, and so he said, "I think I'm going to try my own business." And he had never been around the water industry, but he saw an opportunity in the paper and responded to it. And a manufacturer was looking for a dealership in Kalamazoo, Michigan at that time. And he raised his hand and communicated out, and they said, "Hey, this sounds like a nice opportunity." So started small, and it's been 45 years.
So how did he start? What did the business start as, and what has it evolved into today? What services do you provide now?
He started out strictly as water softeners. That's the only product that Lindsay Water Conditioning had at that time. And over the years, my brother joined in the mid-'80s, and he started the bottled water service, the 5-gallon bottles, the coolers, deliveries to homes and office. And so that we've been doing that for 30 years. And then I joined in the mid-'90s. Dad retired right about the time I joined. So we've grown from Kalamazoo location to soon to be 4 locations, fourth being up north of Rockford, south of Cedar Springs on 14 miles. So the locations are part production, part, people and office space, and part, a couple of them, the one in Portage and the one in soon to be Rockford area, is for customer convenience, if you will, to pick up products.
Okay.
So we've grown a lot, and the source of it, my dad was fiercely independent. He did a good job starting that business because he had 3 kids in private schools, and every week he knew how much he had to sell to cover the payment for the house and the education and the car.
So he was very motivated.
Very motivated. Very motivated.
I enjoyed reading about the history a little bit of the starting of the company. Do you have any memories about growing up in a family business and how your father integrated you and your brother into the business?
Yeah. Early on, I remember when he first started out of the house. So after about a year or so, he rented some space. Not big space, but space, and we had to get it ready to be an office. And at that time, it wasn't anything fancy, a couple of desks, maybe a third desk, a couple of phones, but we had to clean the space out. And so I remember as a kid, I was about 9 years old, maybe 10, and so we were brooming and cleaning and painting and doing all of that stuff. And so that was the start of the office outside of the home. Then it was not only brooming and doing things around the office, but it was going out on service calls and installations of the guys. And my brother and I would do that. Steve remembers my dad sitting on the edge of the bed at night making phone calls to people and making notes and trying to set appointments. And a lot of family involvement. My sister and my mom. My mom was, the office person, and us 3 kids did whatever we could do to help out. And quite frankly, we had to be around the office because they were both down there. So in the summertime, we had to be down there too. So
Now, I know you have some young adult and teen children. Have you done the same with them, getting them involved with the family business?
a bit, yes. Brother and I, again, are the ones that are involved. Sister's family, less so. Steve's kids, his are older than mine. All of them have worked at some capacity, and they're now all professionals. And one of his daughters is now back working with us as they've moved back to Grand Rapids area. And so she's involved with us full time. And then my daughter, who's in college, is here for the summer doing some things that we need done.
Now, did you always know you wanted to come back and work with the family business, or did you venture out elsewhere?
My brother and I both swore it off after college.
And then what brought you back?
Never say never. My brother did 3 or 4 years in engineering and sales stints, and as did I. Actually, we're both engineers by training. I worked for 9 years doing other things, and at that time I said, Dad, brother, it's yours. I'm doing my own thing. That'll be great. But again, never say never. I was working for a small family-owned manufacturer's rep firm doing technical sales into industrial applications, and there was a father and 2 sons involved in the business. And I'm like, maybe I should help my father and my brother, and so we talked a bit and worked things out, and I've been here, good heavens, 22 years last week. So it's worked out so far.
That's great. Well, that's a great next question is what resources have helped you kind of navigate those family and co-owner and colleague relationships?
Yeah, really good question. I think part of it was need, Dad needed family in the business to make it go, to start it. He didn't have the resource of the FBA, if you will, at the time, but my dad was huge on networking. And he was very much interested in getting influence or input from other people. And so he reached out and talked to people, other families. I can think of a car dealership in Kalamazoo that's a family friend. I played tennis with one of the sons. Another son was a friend of my sister's, and the parents were friends of my parents, and the grandparents, if you will, were mentors to my dad. And so, it's leaning on people that have been through it before and asking the right questions and doing the best you can. You kind of muddle through it.
And I think that's the way it's been done for generations, is looking for people in similar situations and finding people who are facing common.
My dad's biggest, he had a couple of really good quotes, and one was, never reinvent the wheel.
Right. Right.
Go pick somebody else's brain.
What do you think makes Gordon Water Systems services so special?
And that's something that, as a family business, we're a little bit maybe biased, but we're based on really 3 things. One is the customer focus. We realize early on that without a customer, you don't have a business. So it's customer satisfaction. My dad, when he selected the equipment he selected early on, was unique as compared to the only other name that people really know, and even still know as a nationally recognized name in water softeners or water treatment. But the equipment he had was better than their equipment, and he quickly, within a matter of a few years, was outselling them in the Kalamazoo area. Just was really helping people save money and be efficient with salt and water and having clean, soft water in their homes. So it was high-quality equipment. And then he took on the Connecticut product line shortly after starting, a few years later. And Connecticut has turned out to be a wonderful product line for us. It's unique, it's efficient, it's made in America, it's got a great warranty. I mean, it's everything you want in a company. We just have really valued that relationship in the product line. So, and then the third would be the service and the integrity. Steve often refers to it, we went to a high school without locks on lockers. And that was our life. We were raised to be honest and, a work ethic and be respectful and all of that and appreciate people's position. And we've carried that into our business. I think people can see that because it's natural to the corporate character of who we are. So the customer is first. We've got great products and we serve with integrity.
And how has being a family business helped lead to the success of the company?
My dad passed away in December, but his name's on everything I touch and see every day. So quite frankly, he's looking down, if you will, from the sign or the letterhead or the business card or on my shirt. His name is there. And part of that is, in fact, quite frankly, most of that is super motivating. because it is our business. It's what my dad started. It's what we've poured our lives into. And so, one of his words of advice was, don't tube the business. And so that meant you've got good customers, good products, serve with integrity, all of that. So,
what do you find the most satisfying aspect of being part of Gordon Water Systems and a family business?
I think the biggest thing, and it can sound cliche-ish, is, quite frankly, it's the people I work with over the years. We've had the opportunity as a small business owner, you become friends with your employees, not all of them, but a good share of them, and you become a counselor, and sometimes you provide some financial assistance, or sometimes you allow for extra time on something, or you offer up whatever it might be to help that person you care about with a problem or a situation they have in their life. In turn, those people impact us by doing an amazing job and representing Gordon and the Duisterhof family, Gordon Duisterhof and the family, to the public in ways that are better than what we ever expected, or maybe even do their job way better than I can or Steve can. We've just got great people. And it's very rewarding to have the online reviews reflect that when they say, Chad did such a great job, or Phil was so honest and he was up front and he fixed our equipment rather than trying to sell us something. Or, I read that, and it just brings a smile and a warmth to me, that satisfaction that
I
comes
saw
with
5
it.
stars when I was looking online, so that must make you proud.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. There's no doubt about it.
So you mentioned integrity and community. What are some community outreach projects that you and your employees have been involved in?
Well, we do a bunch of water donation to events, walks, runs, more recently mud runs.
Oh, fun.
Stuff like triathlons. We just did a triathlon this past weekend by supplying them with water. So there's lots and lots of people that enjoy our water May through September and throughout the year, but in those warmer months when there's more outside activities. Marathons, Kalamazoo Marathon, Grand Rapids Marathon, and a number of others. My brother, via Rotary, has been to Haiti 3 times. He's had impact there. And we've also, through the Grand Rapids Rotary, I was involved with, over 100 of the biosand filters we've provided.
Oh, that's amazing.
Through a course of years. And so, we recognize that we're helping people have clean, safe water that comes to their homes here, but there's a lot of people in this hemisphere and other parts of the world that they don't even have running water, let alone clean water to drink.
The things we take for granted that are so easy to turn on a tap. So.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, one final question. What does it mean to you to be able to carry on your father's legacy?
That means a lot. It's not a burden. I mean, it's a joy. It's a motivation, because not everybody has that. As second gen or family in a business, it's a motivating factor that I think Steve and I both take very seriously, because it's our dad's legacy, it's our legacy, it's who people know us as. And so as a business owner, a small business, family business owner, it is who you are, and people know you as that. You can't, on weekends, just disappear and not be Tom from Gordon Water.
Right.
And I do the radio ads, so people hear this voice and they go, "Hey, I heard you on the radio."
Comes with a lot of responsibility.
It does, but good responsibility.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
It's been fun. Thank you.
Thank you.